Welcome to the Engineer's Workshop. Well, I hope you've noticed by now there's quite a bit of variety in the videos. I hope you think that's a good thing, because sometimes you do what you want to do, but most of the times you do what you have to do. We take life one day at a time and try to peck away at the projects that work us toward our goal. So we're trying to set up this shop, which is a very large building, 6,200 square feet, as a metalworking shop. And I know everybody loves to see chips being made, but until this is up and running, we're going to probably see a lot of sawdust. We're going to have to do some electrical work. We got to get power to the building. That's what this couple of videos is going to be about. We got to move equipment in here. We have to get the building enclosed. There's just an endless list of things to do. So I hope you will enjoy the journey and learn a little something along the way. Don't be afraid to tackle projects. Everything's a mystery until you learn about it. And most of what I've been able to do has been either self-taught or got a good start from learning from my dad. He built 2 houses, did everything except basically the plumbing and electric. I've tackled that. I've wired a couple of houses. I've done plumbing. So we're going to do some electrical hookups for this building to get single-phase power in here, and then start getting a few outlets and lights put in so that we can do some work over here before the cold weather sets in. Later on, if you stick with the channel, we've got metalworking equipment. I'm going to be getting into lathe work, get a mill, probably a Bridgeport or a knee mill, and work my way through the metalworking equipment. I've done a lot of woodworking over the years, so I'm pretty well set up for woodworking. Another project I've got going back at the farm is a woodworking shop and an engine shed. I'm going to add on to that, and if you look at the Ruston Hornsby videos on the channel, that's the power source for a 3-phase generator that will power the 3-phase equipment in that shop. This building will ultimately have 3-phase power from Dominion, so we'll get 460 277 3-phase service hooked up to this building. So as my buddy Steve Summers says, let's get started. Well, I was hoping this would have equally spaced knockouts on the back wall so that I could come in here to the one panel and here to the other panel, but these are too close together to come in. I can't stack these panels that close side to side, so use left hand on one, right hand on the other. I'm gonna have to put another hole in the back of this panel. I don't know that I have a punch for a 2-inch conduit. I might have a hole saw the right size, but we'll make it work because we got to use 2-inch conduit for the 4-aught power leads, and 4-aught is correct for 200 amp service, at least in aluminum, and then a 3-aught neutral. So these panels come with a small number of breakers, double 30 amp and 220 amp breakers. It's nice, but not 100% necessary for me. Well, got to fire up the generator to run the saw, so let's get that going. I'll be so glad when I don't have to do this. It's a nice generator. It's a 3-phase diesel. Got a Deutz or Deutz diesel engine. Heat up the glow plugs a little bit. And then just pull it all the way to start. Maybe prime it. Did I mention dualies are a pain? Especially when you don't have the correct extension stems on the rears. And that's not holding air. So let's set up outside and start mounting the unistrut. We got a couple pieces cut to length that will reach from the basically the edge of the slab on the bottom and tie into the first girt row of screws that you see up there, and that should be good for mounting that panel. That should work out pretty good. You get an anchor in down low and not get too close to the edge of the slab. This is my first time working with Unistrut. So we got these fasteners. Some of them you're probably more familiar with the ones with the spring on the back. These have a plastic retainer on the front, which to me works just as well. Everything loads from the front side of the Unistrut, so that makes it kind of convenient. We're going to load 4 of these up in the struts, and then we're going to put the screws in through the girts up at the top and square nuts, and then the 2 Unistruts will be anchored. Well, 2-inch fasteners are not long enough. Needs another trip to Tractor Supply. Forced to improvise because the battery in the camera died, so the rest of this is going to be on the phone. I have to see if I can find a way to counterhold those bolt heads on the other side without a helper. Maybe I can prop a crescent wrench in there. Excellent. Now the meter is supposed to be at 5 feet elevation, so we'll establish that, drill some holes in the plywood, and mount the backer board. Okay, center meter is 20 1/4 from the bottom of the panel. And we want to get 5 feet from the ground. And we've got 1 inch, so 21 1/4 is our center line of the meter from the bottom of the panel. We have 28 5/8 centers of the Unistrut. So we'll basically take this panel, which is 32, and we'll have that. So 14 3/8. We'll come in 2 inches from the edges of the panel. fasteners. We'll take our reference mark, which is at 5 feet. And basically 24 3/4 up from 5 feet, we'll set our upper nuts outside. And they're 44 inches apart. So 24 1/2 and 44. Okay, so now we have to do is trace these holes on the steel. We'll slide this up out of the way and then cut the steel. Might be easier to cut the steel from the back, so maybe I'll just pop a hole in the center. Add one feature to this to help protect the edge of the plywood. An inverted piece of gutter. we go. Good deal.